All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel, the only Star Basketball channel to forget about the time change. All right, so we got an extra hour to do this. I'm going to talk today about the 101, and this is going to be a heavy 101. I've been answering questions on the 101 lately, and hearing some good, some just thoughtful questions and people who are interested in the card. Remember, I love the 101. It is my favorite card. I think it models, better than any card on the planet. Michael Jordan's rookie card, first license card. And I've been, watching it. Gosh, what's it been? Almost a year and a half straight, meticulously, daily. And it's been an interesting ride. But a lot of the negativity when the price points hit highs and stuff. A lot of the negativity of people making stuff up and everything, and the hypocrisy of things, really kind of put a sour taste in my mouth for a lot of things. And I knew that's part of the hobby, and I know that's part that people want. But the hypocrisy of people wanting their card to keep going up and other cards to fall, it really, really gets me. I don't want anyone else's card to fail. I would love for all of your cards to go up, regardless of what they are, or not even go up, just for you to like your cards. I'm not here for money. It never was. This is just a place. I love this card. I love star cards, and I've really gotten into this. And I will continue. I have shifted again, kind of now with the prices going back. I'm now looking at things that have gotten back into price points that I can now get to. So I'll talk to those in a second. We'll talk to the 101s and pricing. I'm particularly interested in Golden's auction last night. And I know Kevin's going to cover all that next week because Kevin does a great job going in depth on the cards. But kind of wanted to give my analysis and takes on price and things to think about for the 101 right now. But real quick, I did reach out to Adam from Basketball Card Fanatic magazine. Hopefully I can get that interview scheduled for next week on Tuesday or Wednesday. And if I can get that video out by Sunday, that would be ideal. So we'll see what happens. And we will, I'll work on that with him to set that up and try and get that. But that was kind of good. I was out on vacation again I've been out of the country for a week, and this last month have just been so busy. And he was busy for the last couple of weeks. We couldn't get together, but hopefully we can do that. So on to the 101. What happened last night? I was actually, like I said, I've been talking to some people on like, hey, where the pricing is going to go? What's the trend? And trend obviously is prices are still softening. You still have a falling price. Kind of, if you look at a chart, it's going. It's just on that slant down. And the one thing there's things that I do not like to chart this against. I do stock chart, all the same stuff, a lot of us look at, and it's fairly easy to see. Remember, there's two bad things about that. First of all, an 8 does not equal an 8. A BGS 8 is very different than another BGS 8. These are such condition sensitive cards that it really, really changes for whichever one you're looking at. So it really comes down to quality in these. And I've been watching some trends and looking at that. But for the other stock thing is I don't like, so just looking at a BGS 8, it doesn't equate to every other BGS 8. But if you look on a chart, it's just a plot on a graph. So it's kind of hard to look at. You just want to take it. And people that don't follow the card and just look at the chart, you're going to get an incorrect analysis. The other thing that's incorrect about it is, for just like what happened last night and for things like for cards at the peak, is that you have such low volume. Remember, this card is a low supply card. It is for a base set card, where we about almost 1,600. I'll probably do a video on that and update on the pop reports. But we're probably getting close to about 1,600. This is insanely low for a base set card. And, you have auctions. I think we only have about 4 bidding auctions going on right now. And actually we can look at that. Why don't we go and look at that really quick? How many bidding auctions do we have? So we'll look at PWCC really quick. We have 2 from PWCC. From Golden, I'm not going to count autos, and we do have the BGS 9, so that's 3. Actually, we will count the autos. They're in there, so we'll count. There's 4. So 4 of those. And how many bidding ones do we have? We're on price here, so we'll go down to, I think the highest is a PSA 7 that I saw right here. That's the highest auction. And this one's interesting too, that it's a top heavy. It's a full size, and this one is going to be an interesting one that I will discuss in a moment. And I'll discuss this one in a moment because it kind of falls in line with what I want to look at as far as condition. This one is really interesting about what's going to be next, and we got 2 days. So going back to we're at 4 for our count for auctions. Let's come back down here. So we got 1, counting the auto. Where was it? I think we're right here. So that counting that one, we're at 5. Right. So there's 4 auctions going on right now. Only this one that I see on eBay, unless there's one that I missed, but it doesn't look like it. So hopefully that's accurate. And yeah, that's what I'm saying is I looked at first the supply. That's one thing I always check is how is the supply, what's it at? And it's actually maintained. It's fallen a little bit now, but it's maintained in and around the 40 range for what's available right here. It peaked, earlier this year, early January, February was about 60 to 70. And it stayed in that range. Then it fell into the low 20s and teens before as things started to take off. Actually, when they were hot, the auctions were low, and it was in the high teens and in the 20s. And now we're in the kind of right now it got to about 45-ish, and now it's down to about because 4 of these don't count. We're at 38 right now. So, it's fallen a hair, but it's still it's still about mid-range, kind of thing. It isn't low but it isn't high. It's higher than it was for sure. But with 4 auctions, we'll see, there's 1,600 copies. Everyone, the vast majority of the supply out there are these ones that people put up for just a ton more than what they're actually auctioning and sell for on like eBay. Everyone's asking, for 150,000 and 125,000, and so many of these. I won't call them ridiculous prices, but they're hoping, I guess, to get lucky, but they don't have to part with it. Maybe this is just the make me sell. A lot of these people are actually just holding and going, I love my card, but if you're going to, give me a certain price point, everyone has a price. It's like if they hit it, then they'll sell. And they can just either get another one or whatever they're going to do. If they love the card, they'll always want it most likely. So, maybe they're going to try and play something, or that's all part of the card game. Right. And as far as, so that's one thing that I did want to note was what's supply doing? What does it look like? And some of the trends that I do want to talk about are, I talked about condition sensitivity. Remember, it doesn't not chart well, for charts and looking at these things. But one thing that I have noticed, and Kevin did notice this as well, BGS copies are selling for the price increase on those have fallen back, and they don't have the same price increase as PSA. One of the reasons I think this is happening is that you've had quality kind of fly to PSA. Everyone's hoping for those big crossovers. I think the quality of BGS has fallen considerably because there used to be some nicer copies. I know some 7.5s that I had back in, what was it, in February? Can't even remember. But I remember I sold those, I think in February, and those 2, and those became PSA 7s, but those were high quality BGS 7.5s, and that's why I picked them up. And I looked for those high qualities, and I talked about that in my videos. I was searching for high quality ones, and I was hoping to, for those, I was helping someone get a house, and then all of a sudden everything took off, and I was like, damn it. So it was a big bummer for me. But that same thing that happened, my lesson is kind of playing out here. Those high quality cards have crossed over. And that's what we've lost a lot. Now, when I'm looking at something, and let's go into last night, this is now going to kind of look into the two auctions, or one auction here, because I actually really liked this PSA 6. These two these two auctions last night shocked me. And I was more shocked by the 6. Actually, I wasn't that surprised by the BGS 8. This is one of, actually, I already have it open over here. So let's go back. I opened it up. This BGS 8, let's take a look at it. Not bad. It's just the surface, the things about it. This would have been a really solid copy, but had it been a solid copy, someone would have crossed it over. So you're finding like this would have gone, but because of the surface issues, and it looks like that, the wonderful plexiglass screw downs, because of this, they're not going to cross well to PSA. So they stay in these slabs, but people are looking for value. That's what, people are all on this value hunt. So this is what I'm actually seeing more is you have for the BGS copies, you have this fall in quality, and then you have the prices fall. There are some BGS 8s that are absolutely, I've seen a couple. This isn't, I'm kind of saying the overall trend. There's been a few that are pretty solid 8s. So I'm not saying that every single BGS 8 is of, low quality. I'm just saying that now people that are running for the value, they're really trying to cross over quality. And that's why PSA has held a premium. So this one wasn't as surprising. This one was surprising to me. Had I known, sorry, trying to fight off a cough here. Had I known this had gotten to this, I probably would have pursued this card. I think for some people, this is going to be not that eye appealing for a full size because it's a little top heavy. But again, this is the way I think that Nature and BGS, as Steve Taft has said, the top is supposed to be top heavy. So I actually really like this card. This one was phenomenal. It has a little bit of damage, but it's a 6, so it's going to have something, but a couple things. But I actually thought this was a phenomenal 6, and had I know it ended at that, I actually would have I would have bid on this. I figured that these would probably be at least 30. So this is a little bit of a surprise to me on that side. This BGS 8 being at almost 32. So this one went for essentially 27, and this one 32. And this I would expect. This one I didn't. It's like if I could have a go back, I would throw it in for a little bit more than that. I actually liked this again because I buy the card, not the grade. This was a card that I thought was just really, really phenomenal. So what does that kind of mean in the overall picture? The overall picture is that's what you got to be careful about. Does this establish, because it's one plot on a graph, does it establish a new pricing point? This has more power to me because this was a higher quality copy. But again, a lot of people don't like the top heavy, and maybe PSA dinged it on this. I don't know, because if you go back and look at this 7, right over here, that one, I thought that PSA 6, other than this doesn't have, surface damage, this, I actually, and especially for price differential, I would have preferred to have had this one. I think this one is just, a really, really cool copy. And that's what I wanted to say about the other thing that I've noticed that's happening is you're having like this. I'm going to kind of say that this is a little heavier on the top than I like. So to me, and I think Kevin said that as well, that, he looked at this card and said, that's a little higher than I go for. So, we both kind of saying the same thing. This quality of card, these, you're starting to see some of those lower end coming out. Like maybe this is a lower end 7, and people want to go, oh, well, whatever this finishes at, because I think this is going to go lower than 49. That's my guess. Obviously, could be surprises, but if it does, then is that the new price? That's what people will trigger off of? And you can't. There's some 7s that, again, even in PSA, there's differences in quality. So you got to really pay attention to your cards. So this one, I'm not going to put that PSA 7. I'm not going to put as much weight to, although I have to. It's not like I'm discounting it, but whatever this finishes at, I don't like. Again, this one I've seen a lot more 7s, and again, there's other 7s that maybe this is preferable to, but this isn't one of those super high quality 7s that I would say would fetch a premium. But again, that's one thing I noticed. So if this still kind of confirms the same downward trend, though, for both of these sales, and this one to me, this PSA 6 is a solid example. So I'm basically kind of looking at that as a solid price point as of right now. And we'll see what happens, after this. But again, the lower price goes, and one of my answers to someone who was talking about saying, hey, are they going to keep falling? And the lower price goes, so will supply. There's going to be a time where buyers, people who sold, they're going to go, okay, I want back in because this is a particular price point that I'm interested in. And the thing is remember, this is a low supply card. It can turn quickly, just like it turned quickly in both ways. It went up really fast. It's now fallen down pretty quickly. And this could change because you have, again, a perception change in the hobby. The same fundamental reasons are there. Prices aren't going back. This PSA 6 you aren't going to see for 15,000 again. There is a small probability of that happening, and I'm discounting macroeconomic stuff, but I don't see that possible. So anyway, I wanted to kind of throw this all out there, like, trends still there. And I know this is a little bit longer of video, but, kind of had a bunch more to say as I started talking about it and looking at trends, things that I'm looking out for, and, just talking about, the 101. So we'll see what happens as far as the next couple auctions. I'm really watching that PSA 7 because it's kind of one of the only things to watch that I'm finding, very, very interesting. I will keep an eye on this BGS 8.5 as well. This 7.5, again, it's one of those top heavy ones, so we'll see where that ends up. But I am watching this 8.5 as well. It's got some surface stuff to it, but there's not much for auction, so it's really all we can watch. But so just like the rest of you, I got popcorn out for this next week, and we'll watch the auctions. Another thing I'm going to work on is backing away, talking to negative comments and people leaving stuff, and other channels even that I go on, and they'll have something, and I'll talk to, and then something comes on that's negative, or things that could even be negative. I've really tried to stay away from all that, and I'm going to kind of increase my own fun for the hobby and stay away from, kind of the negative people and the negative comments and everything. So I'm just going to kind of go radio silent for a lot of them. In the group, I'll do my best to, kind of say the pieces that matter that for information, but really it's about having fun in this hobby and having fun with your cards and enjoying your cards. And that's the whole point. I know that sounds common sense and stupid, but it really, sometimes you get pulled away from that. But, that's definitely something that I've wanted to kind of see an improvement upon. And I have. I've kind of like, if people are saying negative stuff, just kind of back off and just smile and make the day better. Anyway, hope you guys like this one. And then I will see you at the next video.